Hello everybody and welcome back to American Truck Simulator. My name is Big Bill. How are you all doing today? As I'm doing good, as today is everyone's favorite day of the week. Today is Friday. I gotta quit doing that, I know. Oh, how are we all doing? Hope we're all doing well. Hope we're all doing wonderful. Hope you're all doing good. Either one, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you guys are watching from. As today, yes, today is Friday. We're back on ATS. We're back on our little bit of a long trip, going from California to Kansas. Obviously, we stopped here last time, just outside or just in New Mexico. Stopped at the way station there after we drove through the whole state, drove through a little bit of California, and then drove through the whole state of Arizona just to get to where we stopped last night. If you guys don't remember what we're hauling, we were hauling a Cat R1600H bucket. This bucket is for one of the big I can't talk, I do apologize. This is for one of the big Caterpillar excavators. I'm not sure on which one. One of you did ask me that question. I am not, I'm not really specific on excavators. I do have a couple of people who work in construction, so maybe they can help me out, or a couple of people who work in the quarries or the mines around me. They can probably help me out with this one. But anyway, if you guys don't remember, we're going from Cargill, El Centro, California to Emporia, Kansas, Northwestern Energy. $108,990. I will jump on the map later, or I will jump on the map here in a little bit, to show you guys where we're stopping. That way you guys get part 3. And if you guys want to check out part 1, which is not named part 1, there will be a link in the video or a link in the top right hand corner of the screen as always. So, with that being said, before we jump to that topic, let's actually talk about a quick topic. Major League Baseball, my Baltimore Orioles, you know, we're not looking too good. We just swept the Chicago White Sox, but, you know, we're not doing too good. You know, it's early in the season. It's 162 games. It's not too early to panic. It's not too early to panic, but it is what it is. You know, hopefully we do have a good year. I did hear that Zach Eflin is out for the year with Tommy John surgery. This sucks that we brought him back after last year. You know, he was a really good pitcher for us last year, and you know, he was dealing with a little bit of elbow or shoulder soreness, so we did bring him back from last year. And, you know, I did like him. You know, he's a good pitcher. He does have some bad starts here and there, but most of the time he does have good quality starts. So, forgot to do that actually, is my early predictions. Actually, one of you messaged me saying, hey, I know you're on a topic right now, but can you talk about early predictions for Major League Baseball? Absolutely. So, and I asked this question. And I gotta ask this question, okay, who do you think is gonna win what? Who do you think is gonna go to the World Series? Who do you think, you know, and all that? So we're gonna do some early predictions on who's gonna win the AL East, the AL Central, the AL West, and then the National League East, Central, and West. We're not gonna do the whole playoffs, we're just gonna do the World Series. Who do I think is gonna make it to the World Series? Who I think is gonna make it all the way real quick before we get into the topic of conversation. So American League East, I have either New York or Toronto. The Yankees or Blue Jays. That is my pick for the AL East. I love my Orioles, but I think we're gonna have too many injuries. Hopefully we don't, but we have to wait and see. The AL Central. The AL Central, to be honest with you, there's 2 teams I'm keeping an eye on. Detroit Tigers, because they just upgraded their pitching with Tyler Scoba. And the Cleveland Guardians. I think both of them are going to do well. Ultimately, I'm going to go with the Cleveland Guardians on this one. For the AL West, I'm going to go with the Texas Rangers again. I think the Texas Rangers, I think they're going to go back. I think they're going to do well. And ultimately, I think they're going to win the AL West. Now let's go to the National League, the Central. Okay, this is a tough one, but I'm actually going to go Milwaukee Brewers again. I feel like they're going to repeat. You know, they had a very good year last year. I don't see why they can't do it again. They re-signed, or they have most of their team from last year on their roster right now. I don't know why. As long as Christian Yelich stays healthy, that pitching stays good, you know. So, the NL West, unfortunately, I'm going to go with the LA Dodgers. I don't think anyone really has a run at them. Maybe the Padres or Diamondbacks. I mean, I don't know. We have to wait and see. And then, oh, I'm sorry, I missed one. The National League East. I'm actually going to go with the Philadelphia Phillies. I feel like the Phillies are going to do something this year. Maybe they can get lucky and get into the World Series again. And that is where it's going to get fun. Because in the World Series, I have the New York Yankees and the Philadelphia Phillies making it. So, get out of the left lane. So that is my early World Series prediction. It is the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Yankees representing the National League and the American League. Now, let's get into another quick topic. Bristol is this weekend. Big news yesterday, Thursday, big news. Alex Bowman has been medically cleared to be able to race. Glad to see he is returning to the 48 car. Glad to see he's actually medically cleared to race in the 48. You know, don't get me wrong, I love Justin Allgaier. Justin Allgaier is my favorite Xfinity driver, or O'Reilly Series driver. He is my favorite. Myatt Snyder and Anthony Alfredo, they did a good job too. You know, I'm not gonna lie, they did a wonderful job in that 48 car. You know, yeah, they only, you know, Alfredo really didn't have the best of start or the best performance, but hey, he did all right for the first time in a Hendrick Motorsports car. You know, he did all right. Now Myatt Snyder, you know, he just did a fill-in at Circuit of the Americas, but guess what? He did a phenomenal job. He kept the car clean. He didn't finish that high, but hey, he brought back the car, good shape, clean. You know, so prediction for this weekend. I actually have Ty Gibbs or Carson Hocevar winning. I feel like it's one of the time for one of those two young guns to win. I know Ty Gibbs is really good at Bristol. I know Carson Hocevar, he likes Bristol. So that is why I'm going with one of them two this weekend. So, but anyway, let's get to the map. So if you guys don't remember, we picked up over here in El Centro, we picked over here in Cargill, and then we made it all the way here to New Mexico. Slept here at the way station near Gallup, New Mexico. That's the town I couldn't think of as Gallup, not Albuquerque. For some stupid reason, I was thinking it was Albuquerque, but I was like, no, it's Gallup. But we left here. The goal is to hit this rest area just outside of Clinton. Now, it should be doable. We do have another rest area option, but for the most part, this should be a straight shot. I'm thinking about this one, maybe. I am thinking about this one, depending on how far it is from here to there, but for the most part, I am going to try to get to this one, and that way you have a decent size silent trip, and you guys can sit back, relax, and enjoy. Or it could be a quick video, but you never know. So, and then a lot of you asked where we're dropping off. That is where we're dropping off, right here. So, and the crazy part is, one of you said that, hey, since you're going there, you can sleep there and grab a load from one of those two. And I might just do that, but you never know once we get there. So, all right. Now, let's get to the topic, which is the title of this video. Transmissions for big rigs. What is the best manufacturer? What is the best transmission out there? What do you guys prefer? What do owner-operators prefer? What do companies mainly use? You know, all that stuff, all that goodness. Because in the last video we talked about engines. You know, what is the best engine company out there? What is the best, or what is the best engine? What is the best engine manufacturer? You know, and these are just my opinion. You guys can obviously, and I mean, when I say this, obviously leave your opinion in the comments below. Let me know what you think. So now, excuse me. So now that we're talking about transmissions, you know, there's a bunch of them. Allison, Mack transmission, Volvo transmission, Eaton transmission, just to name a few. Okay. There's also gear ratios, different gears, you know, different amount of gears, like 6, 10, 13, 15, 18, even go higher than that in some other countries, I was told. Ratios, you know, and a lot of you guys have asked me, what is the ratio for this transmission? I believe it's a 3.6, but I will check the vehicle diagnostics here in a little bit once I start talking about it, you know. And that's another thing too, like, okay, what is the best amount of gears, you know, or what's the best ratio out there? What do owner operators use? What do companies use? You know what I mean? And you know, that's what we're going to talk about today is that. Now, ratios, I think they go as low as 0.290, I believe. I could be wrong, because I've heard of lower ratios before, especially in the real world, or not, well, obviously in the real world, but you know, this is a video game, you know, simulator. Obviously, you know, transmissions are going to fluctuate. What's better, a higher ratio truck or a lower ratio truck, or a median ratio truck? So let's talk about the ratios first. For example, the higher the ratio, the more weight. But also, the higher the ratio, the more weight you can pull, but also it's not going to be as fast. Which, them trucks that have the higher ratios, they're not designed to go fast, they're designed to pull heavy loads, which is why you guys see like Kenworth T800s or Peterbilt 567s, their front steer axles are so heavy, you know, their drive axles are so heavy, you know, they need a big transmission to push all that, and that's why they have heavier gear ratios. It's not to go fast, it's not to look cool, it's not to, you know, anything like that. It's actually the pull, and that's all they're designed to, is just to pull heavy loads. Now, a lower ratio, you can't really pull as much weight, from what I'm told, but you can go really quick. Like, you can jump into the 80s, 90s, even the 100s, from what I'm told from truck drivers. It's very rare, from what I'm told, especially in this day and age. I think everyone's in the median range, where, okay, they're designed to pull a decent amount of weight, but they're also designed to go a little bit quick to keep up with the traffic, the flow of traffic, which is most of the highways here in America are 65 miles an hour. Now, granted, a lot of heavy trucks can't get there, like the oversized load guys, the wide load guys, them guys that haul the heavy loads, they can get up to 55, you know, somewhere around there. But they don't want to go fast because they're pulling a lot of weight, and the more weight you pull, the more your stopping distance is going to be. And that's another thing with transmissions too, is some of them stop quicker than the others, from what I'm told. And you know, normally a major company, like a very big company, like Swift, Walmart, Knight, Prime, they're going to be in that medium range, from what I'm told. Owner operators, it depends on what they do. Like the bull haulers, they're in the, from what I'm told, the bull haulers, the cattle haulers, they're in that lower ratio range. Like, they're not in the 2s, they might be in the 3s a little bit. You know, that's what I get told. Some guys like to be, you know, they like to have a higher ratio, like a 3.6 or a 3.7. I know in my other profile for American Truck Simulator, I have a Peterbilt 389 with 3.7 gear rear ratio. That is mainly to pull oversized loads. You know, yes, I'm going you know, 70 or 60, but I'm not really wanting to go that fast. I'm actually wanting heavy loads, and you know, that is what it's designed for. So now I'm going to quickly hit pause here. Oh, there it is. Okay, it doesn't even tell me. Now, the easiest question to answer is this. Okay, Bill, what is the best, retarder or if no retarder? Obviously, if retarder is the best answer. Okay, 336 is a 1440 to an 0733, which this is designed to pull. It's in the middle, pretty much. It's designed to pull heavy / non-heavy loads. You know, it's right in the middle. Like these loads, like 6-speed, 10-speed, 13-speed, 18-speed. You ask anybody, you'll get the same thing. Like if we go to the glider, I think yeah, they're all the same. Let's go to. There's the SCS W900. There it is. Yeah, see like 3.42, 3.55, 2.85 right here. You know, they're all different. You know, they're all different ratios. If we go down here to regular Peterbilt 389, same with this one. You know, that's why you see guys like trucks like this. I was just on it too. That's the engine I have. The Cat C, yeah, I think it's a Cat C15. 625 King of the Hill. That's what I run. Don't believe me? There it is. That's what I run. That's why I run all my trucks. Caterpillar C15 King of the Hill, one of the best motors ever made. 6NZ C15 34. You know, like I said in the last video, you know, I'm a Caterpillar guy through and through. All right, we're just about to enter Texas. So now, mounting gears. That's another thing people ask. You know, a lot of companies are different. Like my company, we mainly have 12 speeds, automatics. We don't have manuals anymore. Owner operator guys, they're gonna have 18 or 13 at the max. They're not gonna do I know back then they used to do, from what I was told back then, they used to do 20, 24. No, they're gonna do it, you know, the best way possible, and that is, okay, you know. Now, why an 18 speed? 18 speed, you can play around with it more. You don't have to go all the way up in the gears. You can just sit back, relax, you know. Like this load weighs only 13,000 pounds. We don't have to go all the way to 18 or 8 high. You know, we can stay in the mid-range, but truck wants to pull 8 high, it wants to pull 8 high. Like, you know, this load doesn't weigh that much. Like, it looks massive, it does. But we don't have the trailer axle now. You know, we don't have a lift axle on this truck, so we don't need it. So and also, you know, the question also becomes, okay, who's got the best transmission, or who is the best transmission out there? Me personally, it's an 8-Fuller 18-speed with retarder. And the reason I say 18-speed with retarder is 18 speed, you have 18 gears, you know, you can play around with them, you know. Then why are you in this lane? Freaking idiot. You know. yeah, that's just my opinion. Me personally, best company, Ian Fuller. Ian Fuller, 18-speed roof retarder. If you ask me right now, like if I were to go buy my own truck, I would make sure that transmission has a retarder in it, and I want to make sure it's a manual. I don't want any of them automatics. Nope. And it's a known fact that the manuals run better than the automatics too. It's a known fact too. So, but like I said before, that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Video game purposes, okay, it all depends on what you want to do. It all depends on what you want to do here in this video game. If you want to pull heavy loads, you go for a higher gear ratio. If you want to pull non-heavier loads, then you pull for a lower gear ratio. It's entirely up to you. I know a lot of people that do play, they do pick 18 speeds. So, okay. Got a lot of dark clouds up ahead. So yeah, I figured I would throw a topic video out there. That way you guys can sit back, relax, and hear my opinion. Alright, how far? 7.5 hours. Oh yeah, we can make it. The thing with me is, and the only reason why I decided not to stay here is because, number one, we can enter Oklahoma, and it won't be that far, or it won't be that long of a silent strip like the last one. So, and the coolest part is, this weekend, if you guys did not watch the last video, this weekend I am going to bring a new game to the channel. I'm not really going to do a career. I'm just going to do a little bit of a gameplay, So, excuse me. I'll tell you what, I will give SES credit where they put the cops, like the state police or the state troopers, whatever you want to call them. They do put them in the right spots, because that's where they would sit, especially here in Pennsylvania. On exit ramps or places like that, they do tend to sit sometimes. And then it's that rest area, which, and a lot of you guys have commented too, hey, you got a little bit longer drive time. It's not that. It's the video is near 30 minutes, or it went over 30 minutes. I don't want to keep you guys, over a certain period. We're gonna get called in, I guarantee it. I'm trying to get over that right lane. There we go. Yeah, I called it. No, I'm not sleeping here at this one. I'll try to make it yellow though. I will try to make it yellow. So it looks like once we figure out what time we get over here, it looks like it'll be an early morning delivery, which everyone loves an early morning delivery. Yeah, I know we gotta stop at the, you know. I think I lost it. Yeah, I think it's back here. I lost my cap to my soda bottle. £63,479. Sounds about right. There must be a bunch of goofballs. Okay, cool. We got it. Back up, back up, back up. We're just gonna tell them that we read the sign wrong. No, I'm good. So a lot of you are actually gonna ask, do they actually do that? Exit to interstate? Yes, a lot of states do that. That's a sign for you to go. Normally it would be a green or a red light. Alright, this is our little rest area for tonight. Oh, actually, that is one thing I would like to go out west and just check out is the rest areas. Like, to see, is it actually true that these rest areas are massive? Like, I've seen videos of, I think it's Texas? Is it Texas? I think it's Texas. With very big rest areas. I do it, ugh. So one thing I do like about these parking spots, they are actually nice and wide to where the whole load is actually, now obviously this ain't a big, very, very wide load, but alright, here we go. Pop the brakes, hit E. We did good. Great timing, not too bad. Just over 30 minutes, that ain't too bad, but anyways guys, that's my little topic video for this week. And, excuse me. And I hope y'all enjoy the video. Thank you for all the love on here on YouTube. Let's keep liking, commenting, and subscribing. Thank you all for all the love on here on YouTube. Once again, please like, comment, subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Enjoy the silent trip, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.